problem number 12. 4 students were asked to write down possible forms for the magnetic vector potential A corresponding to a uniform magnetic field of magnitude B along the positive Z direction. 3 returned correct answers and 1 returned incorrect answer. Their answers are reproduced below. Which one was the incorrect answer? So you have to find out the incorrect one. Options are Bx j cap, By I cap, half Bx I cap minus By j cap, and option D is the half minus By I cap plus Bx j cap. See, if I combine options A and B, what we get? We get option D. That means minus Bi and Bxj. So therefore, we can guess that C, which is half Bx I cap minus By j cap, is the incorrect answer. This is the shortcut way. Otherwise, we can use the second technique, and we know B is equal to curl of A, and B is along the Z direction, that is along the direction of K cap. Now all the options are for vector potential. So we can say A is equal to Bxj. Taking curl Ijk del x del y del z, then 0. We have only Bx for j and again 0. And we get K cap del Bx by del x. That means B is along the Z direction. So option A is correct one. Option B, A is given minus By I cap. Again, taking curl of A, we have minus By along I cap direction, and J and K cap directions are 0. Doing the mathematics, we get K cap del By by del y. Again, we are getting along Z direction or K cap direction. So option B is again correct. Option C, which is half Bxi minus Byj. Therefore, curl of A is Ijk del x del y del z. Then I component Bx by 2, J component minus By by 2, and K component is 0. Doing the calculation, we are getting that there is no K component. Therefore, C is not the correct option. We can also check with the option D, which is half minus By I cap plus Bx j cap. Then curl of A, we have Ijk del x del y del z. I component is minus By by 2, J component is Bx by 2, and K component is 0. Doing the calculation, we can see again that we have some value along z direction or k cap direction. Therefore, option B is also correct. So naturally, we have found also option C is the incorrect answer. And this is what we were supposed to find out. Then we'll move to problem number 31. The magnetic vector potential A, which is given as AX I cap plus AY j cap plus AZ k cap, is defined in a region R of space by the component AX is 5 cos pi y, AY is 2 plus sine pi x, and Z or K component is 0 in an appropriate unit. If L be a square loop of where in the xy plane with its ends at 0, 0, 0, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0 in an appropriate unit, and it lies entirely in the region R, the numerical value of the flux of the above magnetic field in the same unit passing through L is. So 4 options are given. Which one is the correct one? So again, to find out magnetic field B, we can use the relation B equal to curl A, which is equal to ijk del x del y del z. Then components of A, 5 cos pi y, 2 plus sine pi x, and 0 as given in the problem. So if we do the mathematics, we find that B is equal to k cap pi cos pi x plus 5 pi sine pi y. And it also tells that B depends on both x and y coordinates. Now, what is the problem? The region is R and L is the square loop which lies entirely in the region R. So we have a region R where we have a magnetic vector potential A, and then we have a square loop covering the entire region R, and we have to find out the magnetic flux. So we have calculated B, therefore we can calculate the magnetic flux, which is basically B times the area, and the region is bounded by the square loop having coordinates 0, 0, 0.250, 0.25, 0.25, and 0, 0.25. So we know B, we know A, so we have to find out the magnetic flux phi B. Now B is given k pi cos pi x plus 5 pi sine pi y, and it depends on both x and y. So we consider the center as our reference point. That means we want to calculate B at the center having coordinates 0.125 and 0.125, because this is the halfway. So half of 0.25 is 0.125. So therefore, B at 0 can be calculated as k cap pi cos pi x plus 5 pi sine pi y, that is equal to k cap, we can take pi outside of the bracket, putting the value of x, which is 0.125. That means cos 0.125 pi plus 5 sine 0.125 pi. Then we can find out the value of cos and sine. That gives us k cap pi within bracket 0.9238 plus 5 times 0.3826. That gives us 8.909 k cap. Area 0.25 times 0.25 because it is a square loop. So therefore, the area is 0.0625. Therefore, we can calculate magnetic flux phi B, which is equal to magnetic field times the area, that is 8.909 times 0.062. That gives us 0.556. So this answer is very close to option A, 0.543. So therefore, we can say that option A, 0.543 is the answer. Next, move to problem 21. The momentum operator IH cross del del x or d dx acts on a wave function psi x. The operator is Hermitian, and we are given that provided the wave function psi x is normalized, provided the wave function psi x and derivative psi dash x are continuous everywhere. Option C, provided the wave function psi x vanishes as x tends to plus minus infinity. And option D, by its very definition. So all are like correct answers, but we have to find out exactly which one is the correct answer. Now, when we determine whether the operator is Hermitian or not, what is the condition? We use that condition that psi x vanishes as x tends to plus minus del infinity. So this is the condition we use when we prove that operator Px is equal to minus IH cross del by del x is Hermitian. That means we assume that psi x is bounded. Therefore, option C is the correct option. Psi x vanishes as x tends to plus minus infinity. Then move to the next problem, problem number 19. A fermion of mass m moving in 2 dimensions is strictly confined inside a square box of side L. The potential inside is 0. A measurement of the energy of the fermion yields the result E is equal to 65 pi square h cross square by twice ml square. The degeneracy of this energy state is option A 2, option B 4, option C 8, and option D 16. We know energy of a particle confined in a 2-dimensional square box of side L is given by n square plus n2 square times pi square h cross square by twice ml square. So here we have therefore n square plus n2 square equal to 65. Now, what are the possible combinations of N1 and N2 for which we can get 65? See, possibility 1 is if N1 1 and N2 8, we get 65. Or if I put N1 8 and N2 1, we get 65. We can also have if N1 equal to 7 and N2 equal to 4, we get 65. And if N1 is 4 and N2 is 7, we also get 65. So there are 4 possible combinations. The 4 combinations are 1 8, 8 1, 7 4, and 4 7, for which we are getting E is equal to 65 pi square h cross square by twice ml square. So we can simply say that degeneracy is 4 and we can write option B is the correct one. But since we are given fermions and fermions have, say for example, electrons have spin half. Therefore, we can have degeneracy also due to the spin, which is 2s plus 1 is equal to 2 times 1 by 2 plus 1. That gives me 2. Therefore, we can also say that our total degeneracy is 2 times 4, that is 8. So option C, which is 8, is also correct. So either we can have option B if we consider only a special component, because option B, these are the special component, and that times we get answer 4, the degeneracy. That means option B is correct. And if we also consider the spin, we get degeneracy 8. That means option C is also correct. Then move to problem number 2. The limit x tends to infinity, x log x plus 1 by x minus 1 evaluates to 4 options: a equal to 2, b equals to 0, c equals to infinity, and d equals to 1. So we start with limit x tends to infinity, x log x plus 1 by x minus 1. We can consider 1 by x equal to z. Therefore, as x tends to infinity, z tends to 0. So we have limit z tends to 0 log 1 by z plus 1 divided by 1 by z minus 1. That is equal to limit z tends to 0 log 1 plus z minus log 1 minus z divided by z. And putting the limits, we get 0 by 0. That is the indeterminate form. And when we have indeterminate form, we can apply L'Hospital's or L'Hopital's rule. And we know the condition when we can apply the L'Hospital's rule. If limit x tends to a, fx by gx equal to 0 by 0, or limit x tends to a, fx by gx is equal to plus minus infinity by plus minus infinity, where a is any real number or infinity or negative infinity, that time we can apply L'Hospital's rule. And according to the L'Hospital's rules, we have limit x tends to a, fx by gx is equal to limit x tends to a, f dash x, that is derivative of fx, divided by g dash x. So in this problem, we can apply the L'Hospital's rule. So we have limit z tends to 0 log 1 plus z minus log 1 minus z divided by z. That is equal to limit z tends to 0. Applying L'Hospital's rule, we get log 1 plus z is equal to 1 by 1 plus z, and log 1 minus z is equal to 1 by 1 minus z times minus 1, because there is a minus with this z, and derivative of z is 1. So now putting the limit, we have 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 by 1 minus 0, because this minus and this minus will make it plus, divided by 1, that gives us 2. So option A, which is 2, is the answer. The value of the integral 0 to infinity dx by x to the power 4 plus 4 is pi by 8, b 3 pi by 8, c 2 pi, and d pi by 4. This is the standard integration. So this is nothing but 0 to infinity dx by x to the power 4 plus a to the power 4, that is equal to pi by under root 8 times 1 by a cube. So here we are given a to the power 4 is equal to 4. That means root 2 to the power 4 is equal to 4. That tells that a is equal to root 2. Naturally, a cube is root 2 to the power cube. So we can have 0 to infinity dx by x to the power 4 plus 4, that is equal to pi by root 8 times 1 by root 2 cube, that is equal to pi by root 8 times 1 by root 8, that gives us pi by 8. So option A, pi by 8, is the correct answer. Then we can move to problem 9. A particle of rest mass root 3 gram emerges from a gun with a velocity v c by 4. So that means this is the relativistic velocity. If the rest mass of the gun is 1 kilogram, its approximate speed of recoil will be. 4 options are given, and which one is the correct? So P stands for particle. So rest mass of the particle is root 3 g, that is converted into kilogram. So root 3 times 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram, and that is the rest mass of the particle. Velocity of the particle is c by 4, which is relativistic 1. Rest mass of the gun is 1 kilogram, and we have to find out the recoil velocity. Its approximate speed of recoil will be. So we have to find out the value Vg, which we can write as V. So using conservation of momentum, we can write Pg is equal to Pp. That is, momentum of gun is equal to momentum of the particle, relativistic momentum. The momentum is given by mv. So for gun, we can write mg times vg. For particle, we can write mp times vp. Now we know relativistic mass is given by gamma m0. That means m0 by square root of 1 minus v square by c square. So using that concept, for gun, we can write gamma g m naught g vg is equal to gamma p m naught p vp. Putting the value of gamma for gun, which is 1 by square root of 1 minus v square by c square, because we have assumed that vg is equal to v times rest mass of the gun times velocity of the gun, which is equal to 1 by square root of 1 minus c square by 16 c square, because velocity of the particle is c by 4 times rest mass of the particle times velocity of the particle. So that gives us v by square root of 1 minus V square by C square. We know m naught of G, that means rest mass of gun is 1 kilogram. So 1, that is equal to, if we do this calculation, C square will cancel out. 16 will go to the top. So 4, and then 16 minus 1 gives us root 15 times the rest mass of the particle, which is root 3 times 10 to the power minus 3 kilogram times velocity c by 4. That gives us, if we do the simplification, this one will give me v square c square divided by c square minus v square, and then which is equal to 3 by 15 times 10 to the power minus 6 times c square, because we have taken the square of both sides. That is equal to 1 by 5 times 10 to the power minus 6 times c square. So c square will cancel out. We will have 5 v square, 5 is multiplied over here, is equal to 10 to the power minus 6, and c square v square will go over here, so times c square minus v square. That gives us v square is taken common, so 5 plus 10 to the power minus 6, because this one will go this side, that is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 c square. That gives us 5 v square, because 5 is very, very larger than 10 to the power minus 6. Therefore, we can write 5 plus 10 to the power minus 6 is approximately equal to 5. So 5 v square is equal to 10 to the power minus 6 c square. Therefore, v is equal to 10 to the power minus 3 by square root 5 times c, that is equal to c by 5 under root 5 gives us 2.23 times 10 to the power 3, that is equal to c by 2236. So option B, c by 2236 is given. Therefore, B is the answer. Next, we can move to problem 27. The sum of the infinite series S equal to 1 plus 3 by 5 plus 6 by 25 plus 10 by 125 plus 15 by 625 plus dot 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 is given by A is 125 by 64, B 25 by 16, C 25 by 24, and option D 16 by 25. Which one is the correct one? So generally our tendency is to make this series a common one. So let's see how we can make it. So S is given. Now we can multiply both sides by 1 by 5. That gives us S by 5 on the left hand side. On the right hand side, we have 1 by 5 plus 3 by 25 plus 6 by 125 plus 10 by 625, and so on and so forth. So this is our equation number 2. So subtracting 2 from 1, that means S by S5 from S on the left hand side, and these from these values we get S minus S by 5 on the left hand side. On the right hand side we get 1 plus 3 by 5 minus 1 by 5 plus 6 by 25 minus 3 by 25 plus 10 by 125 minus 6 by 125, and so on and so forth. That gives us 4S by 5 is equal to 1 plus 2 by 5, then 3 by 25, then 4 by 125, and then 5 by 625, and plus so on and so forth. Still, it is not a common series. So again, we multiply both sides of equation 3. This is our equation 3 by 1 by 5. We get 4 by 25s, then 1 by 5, then 2 by 25, then 3 by 125, and then 4 by 625 plus dot 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 up to infinity. So again, doing 3 minus 4. So 3 minus 4, we get 4s is common on the left hand side, times 1 by 5 minus 1 by 25. Then we have 1 plus 2 by 5 minus 1 by 5 plus 3 by 25 minus 2 by 25 plus 5 by 625 minus 4 by 625, and so on and so forth. That gives us 4s times 4 by 25 is equal to 1 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 25 plus 1 by 65 plus up to infinity. So now, right hand side of this equation is a GP series, geometric progression series, and ratio is 1 by 5, which we can write as R. Summation of a GP series we know is A by A minus R, where A is the first term and R is the ratio. So from equation 5, we can write 16s by 25 is equal to 1, which is our A, divided by 1 minus 1 by 5, which is our R. That gives us 16s by 25, that is equal to 5 by 4. Therefore, S is equal to 125 by 64. So option A, which is 125 by 64, is the right one. Next problem. Consider problem number 6. Consider a satellite orbiting the Earth in a circular orbit, as sketched in the figure on the right, not to scale. So this is the figure. The satellite has 4 small thruster rockets whose exhaust gases come out along the forward direction, the backward direction, radially inward towards the Earth center, and radially outward from the Earth center, as indicated in the figure. So we have a satellite which have a 4 rockets or thruster rockets, which can fire either direction A, B, C, or D. That means forward direction or backward direction, or radially inward towards the Earth center, or radially outward from the Earth center, as indicated in the figure. If the satellite wants to increase its speed while remaining in a circular orbit and has fuel enough to keep only one thruster rocket in operation, only one thruster rocket can work, it should fire the rocket marked option A, option B, option C, and option D. So which one of this rocket should fire so that the speed of the satellite increases as well as the satellite maintain the circular orbit? So we can use the conservation of angular momentum. So initial angular momentum Li, and we have final angular momentum Lf. So initially the radius say r. So mvr is the initial angular momentum, v is the initial velocity, and v1 r1 are the final velocities and radius of the orbit. So if we want to maintain this condition, that is Li is equal to Lf, that means mvr is equal to mv1 r1, we can see that v1 increases, that means r1 decreases. That means if the speed of the satellite increases, then radius of the circular orbit should become smaller than the initial one. So v1 greater than v and r1 is smaller than r. That means the satellite will move towards the Earth center. How it will happen? So if this rocket D fires along this direction, then naturally centripetal force will be acting towards Earth center, and hence the satellite will come towards the Earth center. Therefore, option D is the correct answer. We can also write a statement like that: centripetal or gravitational force towards center is nothing but thrust radially outward from the Earth center to maintain circular orbit. So centripetal or gravitational force towards Earth center is equal to the radial outward thrust from the Earth center. And this is only possible when the rocket D fires. So option D, that is capital D, radially outward from the Earth's center. That is the correct answer. Now problem 14. A gas has the equation of state U is equal to AS to the power 5 divided by N square V square, where U is the internal energy, V is the volume, and N is the number of particles. Here A is a constant of the appropriate dimension. It follows that the equation of state of this gas relating its pressure P to its temperature T and its density rho N by V is given by. So we have to find out the equation of state, and we are given 4 options. Which one is the correct? So U is given AS to the power 5 divided by N square by V square, where S is the entropy. So equation of state means relation between pressure, volume, and temperature. Here we are given rho, that's what we are using rho, and rho we know given as N by V. Now we can combine first law and second law of thermodynamics, that is dq is equal to du plus pdv. dq is equal to tds, therefore tds is equal to du plus pdv. Or rearranging, we can write du is equal to tds minus pdv. Now taking derivative of u with respect to s, keeping v constant, gives us t from here, and then taking derivative of u with respect to v, keeping S constant gives us minus P. So now from the relation U equal to AS to the power 5 by N square V square, we can take del U by del S, keeping V constant. That gives us 5A S to the power 4 by N square V square. Therefore, we can write that T is equal to 5A S to the power 4 by N square V square, because del U by del S is equal to T. So this is our 1. Similarly, we can take del U by del V, keeping S constant. That gives us AS to the power 5 by N square minus 2 by V cube, and that is equal to minus P. Therefore, P is equal to 2AS to the power 5 by N square V cube. So from 1, we can write T to the power 5 is equal to 5A by N square V square whole to the power 5 times S to the power 20, because we want to get rid of the entropy term. Similarly, from 2, we can write P to the power 4 is equal to 2A by N square V cube to the power 4 times S to the power 20. So now we have equal powers of S. So dividing 3 by 4, we get T to the power 5 by P to the power 4. That is equal to 5A by N square V square to the power 5 times S to the power 20 divided by twice A by N square V cube to the whole to the power 4 times S to the power 20. So now we can cancel out S20, S20. That gives us 2A by N square V cube to the power 4 by PA divided by N square V square to the power 5, because now we are taking ratio P to the power 4 by T to the power 5, just rearranging. That gives us 2A to the power 4 by 5A to the power 5, this is our constant term, times N square V square to the power 5 divided by N square V cube to the power 4. That gives us N to the power 10 times V to the power 10 divided by N to the power 8 times V to the power 12. That is equal to constant times N square by V square. That is equal to constant times rho square, because rho is equal to N by V. Therefore, we can write P to the power 4 by T to the power 5 times rho square equal to constant. And this is our equation of state. And option A is also this one, P to the power 4 by T to the power 5 rho square equal to constant. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Now we can move to problem number 7. It says that a particle of mass m hangs from a light spring inside a lift. See figure, this is the figure. When the lift at rest, the mass oscillates in the vertical direction with an angular frequency 2.5 rad per second. Note what it says, when the lift at rest, then we have that oscillation. Now consider the following situation. What is the situation? The suspended mass is at rest inside the lift, which is descending vertically at a speed 0.5 meter per second. If the lift suddenly stops, the amplitude of oscillation of the mass will be. 4 options are given. 0.20, 0.25, 0.05, and 1.25 meter. Which one is the correct? So the problem says when the lift stops, the mass is oscillating. So when the lift is descending with a speed say v meter per second, entire system is moving. So here I have redrawn the picture. So we can say when the lift is descending with velocity v, it is also the spring mass system is also descending, it is not oscillating, and we can say this one our equilibrium position, which is 0. When it suddenly stops, the mass starts oscillating. So when the lift stops, so here it is stopped, but the force is acting downwards over the mass and the restoring force is acting upwards, which is kx. So as the lift has stopped, suddenly the mass will start oscillating and it will oscillate like this. So this is the equilibrium position. It will go to a maximum position downward and then it will move back to a maximum position upward, and this is how it will oscillate. So this is basically a simply harmonic motion. And we know the equation of motion of a simple harmonic oscillator. We can write y equal to a sine omega t, because our y is the direction of oscillation and a is our amplitude, that means maximum displacement from the equilibrium position. So if we take derivative with respect to t, that gives us dy by dt is equal to a omega cos omega t. Dy by dt is our velocity. Then cos omega t is nothing but a square root of 1 minus sine square omega t. Now sine omega t is nothing but y by a. So we can put a omega times square root of 1 minus y square by a square. That gives us omega times square root of a square minus y square. And that means our velocity v is given as omega times square root of a square minus y square. When we have y equals to 0, we have v equals to omega a, that is the maximum velocity. So what is the amplitude? We can write a is equal to v max by omega. V max is the 0.5 meter per second, because this is the velocity with which the lift was descending and suddenly it stopped. So that was the maximum velocity, and that gives us 0.20 meter. So amplitude of oscillation is 0.20 meter, and option A is also given as 0.20 meter. Therefore, option A is the correct answer.